let's get our full-blown acceleration here with the calligraphy. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're gonna be going over a 2021 Hyundai Palisade Calligraphy. I'm super excited to do this. This is obviously a new package for 2021, but first and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to Hyundai here in Southtown, Utah for giving me some time with this Palisade. Check out their inventory in the link below. Let's get straight into the video. Under the hood of the Palisade, we have a naturally aspirated 3.8 liter V6 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, fuel economy is 19 around town and then 24 on the highway, with power outputs being 291 horsepower and then 262 pound-feet of torque. Now let's go over the front end of the Calligraphy Palisade. So first and foremost, you guys can see that nothing has changed with the hood, and you still get those crazy LED accent lights with the headlights. I love how like serpents through, basically. It just looks really cool in general. And then you get this custom calligraphy front grille, which I think looks really good as well. You've got a little camera just below the Hyundai logo, but you can notice all of the different trim pieces here with the calligraphy package. Overall, just makes this car look even more luxurious, but I felt like it already had kind of like that luxurious look to it from the start. Now, coming around the side here, we've got two 45mm tires on 20-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. Again, these are also part of the calligraphy package, and these are the most insane wheels I have ever seen on a car. There is so much going on with these. They're basically just like rolling works of art. I mean, that's the best way for me to describe this. Just look at all the different intricacies with the wheel itself. And again, this is on like a third row practical SUV. It's just absolutely insane to me. I love how the fender flares are all body painted, and then look at the mirrors with the lights integrated. Just so much weird stuff happening with this car, but I think it looks cool overall. I love the accents with the door handles as well, and there's your full side view on the calligraphy. Going to the rear of the calligraphy package, so you can see that we've got the third row folded down. We've got all these boxes and everything back here that come with the car. Again, we're going to let the first owner open this all up, so it's a special experience for them. But these buttons right over here, these actually raise or lower the third row, and then there's another set of buttons back here. You can see this for the second row, and then this is for the third row, and then there's a 12-volt just up above it. But it's cool that you've got a bunch of buttons to do that for you, so that you don't have to like go through and manually throw down all of the seats. Just makes things a whole lot easier. But with the third row folded down, there's a massive amount of storage space back here. And then the last little touch is got some extra storage just under that little compartment. But yeah, other than that, that's the back end of the Palisade. Now let's go with the rest of the rear of the Palisade. So you've got the really cool LED lights here in the rear. I just love how they just come down abruptly. Parking sensors in the back. If you're wondering what those little yellow markers are for, this still has to go through the pre-delivery inspection, so that's why not all the tape hasn't been taken off of this yet. But yeah, overall the back end of this just looks really good. And then in terms of the receiver hitch, well, this can actually tow about 5,000 pounds, so it's really practical. And then you got the little exhaust tip out there on the side, which looks pretty cool. Now here's the door panel on the back of the calligraphy. So you can see you've got this really nice trim here on the side of the door panel. I love like the quilted design. And then you've got all this soft touch just down below, and then another piece of trim right here. So all of it looks really cool. You do get little sunshades here in the back as well. And then here's the seats in the rear. So you've got this really nice piping all throughout. And again, more of that quilted design with the perforations all throughout the seats themselves. Just looks really good and actually feels really nice as well. But let's actually pop in. So if you guys are wondering, I'm 5'11". Always have been. Got a good amount of headroom and a good amount of legroom, and sorry about my choice of socks like always. And then you can see over here you do have a little climate zone. The coolest part is you get heated and ventilated seats here in the rear. The fact you get both of them, you just don't really see that all that often. And then you can see you got a full power outlet and then a little 12-volt as well, and then some extra storage just behind here. Nothing too crazy. The weird thing is the USB on the back of the seat. Just random. Like, it's cool, it's practical, but like, why? I don't know. It's just there. And then the other cool thing is you can see light controls up here, and you also get a sunroof here for the back. So like, the back seats here, you are just completely living the life of luxury. Coming coming to the door panel here at the front, notice you still have that beautiful design here on the side of the door panel, and then all the soft touch with a really nice trim just up above. All of your window controls and your mirror adjustments, and then your memory seat controls as well. And then here are the seats at the front. Again, really nice soft touch leather with the kind of like quilted design, and then you've got all the perforations all throughout the center. They just look and feel very nice. There's your adjustments on the side of the seat, and then you can see your pedal layout just down below. And then up here you've got your little parking brake right here, the hold for the tailgate, your blind spot monitoring, your lane departure assistance, and then your stability control. And there's one more look before we pop into the Palisade. Here's the steering wheel with the Palisade. So notice you got the really smooth touch leather at the top and at the bottom, and then the perforated leather there on the side. And then over here you've got the controls for the little center screen. You got your cruise control just right there. It is adaptive. And then you can see little paddle shifters there on the back. And then you got your voice command and your phone controls as well. And then you do have the stock for the windshield wipers. And you got the stock for the lights on the other side. Overall, pretty simple, pretty modern design with the steering wheel, but it feels and looks nice. You've got the center gauge cluster here. You've got the speed over on the left side. Over on the right side, you've got the RPMs, and they go backwards, which is definitely different. But you got the little pages button right there, which basically just shows you a couple different menus. Nothing too crazy with that. Now the cool part's the drive mode. So first off, we've got the eco mode, which you can pop into, which looks really cool with the graphic. And then you've got the snow mode, which again looks really cool with the graphic. And then you have the sport mode, which again, another crazy little graphic. And then you got the smart. I haven't decided which one I like the most. I definitely always like sport mode just because they look super aggressive, but like all of these just have really cool animations to go into them. Here's our center infotainment system on the Palisade. First off, let's pop it into reverse. You guys can see the camera system, which is really good. There's a ton of different viewpoints out of the Palisade, so like parking is not going to be an issue. And also, again, 5,000 pound towing capacity. And boom, you just use that to hook up to the trailer. It's cool you have the bird's eye view, because when you turn the trajectory lines, the bird's eye view version of it also has the lines turned, so it's a pretty cool system in general. And then as for the rest of the infotainment system, so response time on the infotainment system is really good. I mean, you guys can see me pressing the button, things happen pretty much instantaneously, but you've got a bunch of like shortcut controls just down below. My favorite thing is the sounds of nature, which I think is just really cool because like it just gives you all these different sounds with the vehicle. Obviously makes it a little bit different for the driving experience. And I just realized you can see my reflection over there, which I'll probably get made fun of later in this video for that. But you also do get Android Auto and Apple CarPlay with this infotainment system as well. And let's get into some other stuff with it. There's a couple more controls I want to go over. So obviously you can control the rear climate. You have the quiet mode, which is pretty cool that you actually have that. And then the other thing, obviously we already went over the sounds of nature, is the passenger talk. So all this is just a microphone, so you guys can hear me in the back, which is pretty cool. Kind of freaks me out to hear my own voice, even though I make YouTube videos. But yeah, so if you want to yell at your passengers, cabin talk, but you can like whisper like sweet nothings into their ear through the microphone. Now just down below the whole infotainment system setup, we've got a bunch of analog buttons for the Palisade. And then you've got your dual zone climate controls just down below that. And then you've got your gear selector, really easy to use, so push in for every single thing. Nothing too crazy. And then you've got your auto hold right next to it. And then you can see you've got your drive mode select. And yes, this does come with walkers, so it's got some off-road credibility. Your hill descent control, you've got your auto stop start, the parking sensors, and then this is for the camera system. And then you've got your heated and cooled seats, and then look at the nice trim. Same thing that's on the door panel as well. And then you can see here we've got some cool stuff. Ben's GoPro, because it died. You guys will understand if you saw another video. Wireless phone charging just down below as well. And then you can cover this up with that little tab right there. And then we have the rest of the center console, which, I mean, this just has so much storage space. It's just a really practical car in general. And then I really like the tab for the glove box. Feels really nice. Traditional glove box, nothing too crazy. And the last thing I want to mention before we go up top is I really like that trim. It just looks very premium, and it connects with the door. Like, good job. Now up top, we do have some cool stuff. So we've got a sunglass holder, which is pretty neat. And we've got a sunroof up here, and you guys are like, well, that's not enough sunroof for me. Well, you guys forgot from earlier in the video that we have a rear sunroof as well. So yeah, you can close the shade just with that button. The controls to the front sunroof are right there. And then my favorite part of the Palisade is you've got this full suede headliner, and you can do that with your fingers because Yeah, it does that, but I just love the look of it. Definitely makes this feel way more premium than anything else in the segment, because not only are the seats really nice, but the headliner is really nice. Well, now that we're done going over the interior of the Palisade, let's quickly get into the pricing. So in terms of pricing, this Palisade in the calligraphy package stickers for about $50,000 before any type of market adjustment, which, I mean, as nice as this is, I definitely think it's a great value. That all being said, let's take this Palisade out and see how she drives. Well, let's quickly talk about visibility here in the Palisade before we set off. So you guys can see visibility over the hood's really good, and then you've got the little heads-up display. Hopefully that's coming through on the camera. And then this also does have the cool turn signal indicator camera as well, which I just absolutely love. And then you do have blind spot monitoring in the mirrors as well. And then there's your visibility through both of those mirrors. And then here's your visibility all throughout the rear. So a bunch of very large windows. And that all being said, well, let's set off. Well, we are initially setting off here in the Palisade Calligraphy, and first and foremost, let's talk about the road noise and the ride quality. So from a ride quality perspective, I'd rate it at average for the segment. It's not any smoother, not any rougher than other SUVs in this segment. And then from a road noise perspective, I'd also rate it at about average. It's right where it needs to be compared to its competitors. And we'll see how the brakes are coming up to this little stop right here. Yeah, brakes are really good. I love this turn signal camera. It helps out so much. Obviously, it's going to help out with not curbing your wheels if you are not like spatially aware of your vehicle. But obviously, it's another nice little safety feature that just gives you a little bit more peace of mind. And just getting up and going, the torque is really good. It gets up and goes. It's very smooth with that. We're going to pop it over in the sport mode and also in the manual mode as well. And let's get our full-blown acceleration here with the calligraphy. So the gear shifts are really smooth. Now, obviously, the biggest complaint against the Palisade has been this 3.8 liter V6 and why they don't offer a larger, more powerful engine, and that was totally a C8 Corvette. Cool. Anyways, that's been the biggest complaint with this Palisade. However, if you look at all the other competitors, they're all around the same power output for the same money, and so it's not like you're getting any better value out of this or out of the competitors compared to this for the money. Because like if you pay 50 grand for a third row family SUV, all of them have about 300 horsepower, all of them have V6s pretty much, and so it's like it's the same as all the other competitors. Now, would it be cool if they made a more expensive Palisade with like a V8 or a twin turbo V6? Yes. But compared to the competition, it is more than competent. It would just be cool if they made kind of like a higher up package than this, but they really don't need to for what this is competing against, to be frank. And let's get into summing things up with the Palisade. So from an exterior perspective, every time I see these on the road, they always catch my attention. They've got a good road presence still to this day. They just look absolutely insane. I wouldn't call it beautiful by any means, but it definitely has this like luxury appeal to it, and it definitely has good road presence as well. And then from the interior perspective, especially compared to its competitors, from the headliner to the seats and all the material used, it's definitely above the competition. So from an interior perspective, you're definitely winning out on that. Safety tech is absolutely fantastic. You have every single amount of safety tech that you could ever ask for. And so just as an overall package, even though this doesn't have a crazy amount of power, it's such a good value, and it's so much better than the other vehicles in this category right now that if you're looking at a third row SUV, you have to check out the Palisade. That's going to sum things up for our video on this 2021 Hyundai Palisade and the calligraphy package. And again, a huge shout out and thank you to Southtown Hyundai for giving me some time with this Palisade. Check out their inventory in the link below. I will see all of you in the next video.